Here is question that comes up a lot from maintenance engineer and plant manager. You have a large motor drive by a VFD. The bearings keep falling early, sometimes within a 6 month, sometimes within a year. You replace them, they fail again. You try to different bearing brands, still falling. You check the lubrication, you check the alignment, you everything looks correct, but the bearing keeps dying. So the problem is not in bearing, the problem is not lubrication, the problem is not alignment, the problem is electrical. Your VFD is sending electrical current through the motor shaft, and those current are discharging through the bearings, slowly burning and pitting the bearing surface from inside. And because it happens gradually and visibility, most people never connect it to the VFD until after many experience expensive failures. So in this video I am going to explain this clearly and simply. No formulas, no whiteboard, just face-to-face explanation of what bearing current is, why it's happened with VFD, what damage is caused, and exactly what you need to do stop it. So my first point, what bearing current actually is, a simple explanation. Let me explain. Bearing current in a simple possible way. A motor has a shaft. That is the rotating metal rod in the center that transfer power to the load. That shaft sits inside the motor, and two bearings, one at drive end and one at non-drive end. This bearing support the shaft and allow it to spin smoothly. Now inside the motor, the way the winding and the steel core are arranged create something like an electrical imbalance. A small voltage that appears on the shaft. This shaft voltage is very small, usually just a few volts. Under normal circumstances, with a standard motor connected directly to the supply, this small shaft voltage is not a big problem. The oil film in the bearings is thick enough to prevent current from flowing. The voltage is low enough that nothing bad happens. But when VFD is controlling the motor, the shaft voltage becomes much larger and changes much faster. The oil film in the bearing, that protective rubber mat, gets or melted. The voltage breaks through the oil film, and the small spark of the electrical current discharges through the bearing from the inner race of bearing. Through the rolling elements on outer race, that tiny spark leave the tiny pit in the bearing surface. Thousands of sparks later, and the bearing surface looks like it has been blasted from the inside. That is bearing current damage. So my next point, why VFD create this problem? What is the root cause? So why do VFD make this problem so much worse than standard direct online motor? The answer is in how a VFD creates its output. A VFD does not send a smooth, clean sine wave to the motor. It sends very fast switching pulses, thousands of times per second, that the motor average out into the rotating magnetic field. These fast switching pulses are called PWM, pulse width modulation. Every single time the VFD switches, it creates a rapid change in voltage. The rapid voltage changes create something called common mode voltage, a voltage that appears between all three phases and earth simultaneously. This common mode voltage does not cancel it out the motor winding the way normal balanced three-phase voltage does. Instead, its capacity couples into the motor shaft through the small electrical capacitance that exists between the winding and the rotor. The faster the VFD switch is, what we call the switching frequency or carrier frequency, and the higher power of the motor, the more common mode voltage appears on the shaft and the more severe the bearing current problem becomes. This is why higher power motors and drives set to the higher switching frequencies have more servo bearings current issues than smaller, slower switching system. This is also why this problem barely exists before VFD become common. Standard motors connected directly to the supply have almost no bearing current problem. Add a VFD and a problem is created by the way that VFD works. My second point is two types of bearing current, capacitive and circulating. Okay? Now here is something important. There are actually two different types of bearing current in VFD driven motors. Understanding the different matters because they need different solution. Type 1 is called capacitive bearing current or sometimes EDM current, which stand for electrical discharge machine. This is the type I just described. Shaft voltage build up and then discharge through the bearing oil film as a tinning spark. It's happen at the both drive end bearing and non-drive end bearing. It is most common smaller motor. Say below 100 kilowatts, each individual discharge is tiny, but after million of them, the bearing surface is damaged. So, type 2 call is circulating bearing current. This one is different and more damaging it. In larger motor, the common mode voltage does not just capacitively couple into the shaft. It is induced a magnetic flux around that shaft axis. This is flux drives a circulating current that flows along the shaft through the one bearing, through the motor frame and the back through the other bearing, completing a loop. So a circulating bearing current is much more damaging than capacitive type, and it primarily affects a larger motor, typically those above 100 kilowatts. The larger the motor frame, the stronger than induced flux, the larger circulating current, and the faster the bearing damage occurs. This is why large motors on VFD are most at risk, why bearings protection become essential at that size. What flooding damage look like, how to identify it. My next point, what is flooding damage looks like, how to identify it. When bearing current damage occurs, it leaves a very specific pattern on the bearing surface. Okay, and once you know what to look for it, so it is unmistakable. The damage is called fluting. Okay, fluting. When you remove a failed bearing from a motor with a bearing current problem and look at the inner race, okay, the inner metal ring or the outer race, you will see a series in parallel grooves running around the circumference of the race. These grooves look like fine corrugation, like the pattern on corrugated cardboard, the much finer and more regular. So more regular, and they space very evenly and they run in direction that is a right angle to the direction the rolling element travel. These grooves are created by thousands of tiny electrical discharge pits that from the contact point between the rolling element and the race surface. Because the rolling element always contact the race in the same circular essential pattern, the pits line up into this regular grooves. So you will also often see a dark gray or black discoloration on the bearing surface from electrical discharge burning the bearing material and the lubricant. Okay, this grease inside a bearing with servo bearing current damage often looks darker than normal and may have a burnt or metallic smell. My next point, why large motor above 100 kilowatt are most at their risk. Okay, so let me very specific about risk level by motor size, because this sometimes that not communicated well in most training material. For the motors below about 30 kilowatts, bearing current damage does happen, but it is typically slow and the maintenance intervals catch the problems before catastrophic failure. The capacitive discharge type is the main concern, and in many cases a properly installed sealed cables and good grounding is enough. Okay, for medium motor 30 to 100 kilowatts the risk increases significantly. Bearing protection should be part of standard installation and specification, not a after through. For the large motors above 100 kilowatts, the circulating bearing current type becomes dominant. The motor frame is physically larger and larger frame produce more the induced shaft flux that drives circulating current. The bearing current is in 355 frame or larger motor can be many times higher than a small motor. Okay, without bearing protection, this large motor will certainly almost certainly experience premature bearing failure when controlled by VFD. So the practical message, if you have a motor above 100 kilowatts on a VFD and you have not fit by bearing protection, your bearing are risk at right now. The damage may already be starting. It is not a question of whether it will happen, but when. So my next point is solution. Solution 1, insulated bearings. Right, us talk about solution, and I will go through each one clearly so you understand what does it, where it works and where its limits are. So the first solution is insulated bearing. These are standard motor bearings that have a thin coating of insulating material, either a ceramic coating or a polymer coating applied to the outer race of the bearing. This is coating acts as the electrical insulator between bearing outer race and the motor end shield. The idea is simple. If the bearing outer race is electrically insulated from motor frame, then current cannot flow from the shaft through the bearing into the frame and back. The circuit is broken, no flow current, no damage occurs. So insulated bearings are most effective against the capacitive discharge type of the bearing current. The EDM type, they work well on smaller motor. They are drop-in replacement for the standard bearings and require no changes to the motor design or the installation outside of the motor. The limitation, for large motor with the circulating type of the bearing current, fitting insulated bearing on both bearing does not fully solve the problem. If both ends are insulated, the current cannot flow around the motor frame loop, which is good, but the shaft voltage can still appear, and in some condition the current may find other paths. The current approach for the large motor is insulated one end and ground the other. So which lead us to the next solution. So next point, solution 2, shaft grounding rings. The second solution and the most widely used protection method in industrial VFD application today is a shaft grounding ring. So a shaft grounding ring is device that spins around the motor shaft, usually at the drive end, and makes continuous electrical contact with the shaft as it rotates. It has a ring of tiny conductive fibers, often carbon fiber or a special metal fiber, that press gently against the shaft surface. This fiber makes thousands of contact points with the shaft, creating a very low resistance electrical path from the shaft to the ring housing, which is then connected to the motor frame and the earth. What this does to give the shaft voltage somewhere go to a a very low resistance path to earth without going through the bearings. The shaft voltage which was building up and discharging through the bearing oil film, now seen a much easier path straight through the grounding ring to earth. It's take that path instead. The bearings are bypassed. So the shaft ring works on both types of bearing current, capacitive and circulative, which makes them the most versatile protection solution available. They are fit internally and do not require modification of the motor internals, and they work continuously through the motor's operation. Solution 3. Output filter and common mode chokes. The first two solutions work at the motor. This next solution work at drive output. Okay. So they reduce the bearing current problem before it even reach the motor. A common mode choke, also called a output choke or dV upon dt filter, is a component fit between the VFD output and the motor cable. It is essentially a set of three conductors wound together on a single core. Its job is to slow down the rate at which the VFD output voltage switching. So I remember said that bearing current is caused by very fast voltage switching from the VFD. A common mode choke reduces the speed of those voltage changes. Instead of the voltage switching as fast as a IGBT transistors allow, the choke smooth and the transitions, making them slower and less sharp. The result is lower common mode voltage appearing on the shaft, therefore lower bearing current. A common mode choke is particularly used when your motor cable length are long. When longer cable make the common mode voltage problem worse. It also help with other EMI problem in a system at the same time. For very servo application, very long cables, very sensitive environment, or motor that very difficult to access for the shaft grounding, a full sine wave filter on a drive output convert the PWM switching output back into very clean sine wave. This is almost completely eliminates the common mode voltage and therefore the bearings current. It is the most expensive output filter options but also the most effective at reducing the drive side cause of the problems. Solution for insulated coupling and load side isolation. There is the fourth approach that's worth knowing about, especially in large industrial installation where the motor drives a pump, a fan or a compressor through the mechanical coupling. In some larger motor installation, the bearing current does not only flow within the motor, it can also flow through the mechanical coupling into driven equipment, through the pump or compressor shaft, through the machine bearing and back through the foundation to earth. So this means the drive machine bearings can also be damaged by the bearing current problem even though that machine has nothing to do with the VFD directly. The solution is insulated coupling. This is the mechanical coupling between the motor and shaft. The driven machine shaft that includes an electrically insulating material, usually a polymer or compact element within its structure. The coupling still transmits torque normally, but it breaks the electrical path between the motor and shaft and the drive machine shaft. The insulated coupling are particularly used in the large pump and compressor in refineries, power plant and water utilities, where the cost of bearing failure in the driven machine is even higher than the motor bearings itself. Combined with a shaft grounding ring on the motor, an insulated coupling ensure current cannot flow out of the motor into the connected equipment. So my next point is complete protection strategy. Which solution to combine? Let me give you the clear recommendation protection strategy based on the motor size, because the right combination of solution depend on how large motor is. For the motor up to 30 kilowatts on the VFD, ensure a good grounding and use sealed motor cable with the proper 360-degree earth connection at both ends. This is often sufficient. If the bearing current issues still happen, add shaft grounding ring. For motor from 30 to 100 kilowatts on a VFD, a shaft grounding ring at the drive end, the standard recommendation. Consider also common mode choke on the drive output, especially if the motor cable is longer than 30 meter, and insulator bearing at the non-drive end adds additional protection. For motors above 100 kW on a VFD, this size requires a full protection package. Fit a shaft grounding ring at the drive end, fit an insulated bearing at the non-drive end, fit a common mode choke or output filter on the drive output. If there is mechanical coupling to drive equipment, consider an insulated coupling. So, also if you are retrofitting protection to existing motor that has already been running without it, inspect the current bearing before retrofitting. If the bearing already slow floating, replace them at the same as fitting the protection. Installing protection on already damaged bearing does not fix the existing damage. So my next point is common mistake engineer make. Let me share the most common mistake I see when engineers try to deal with bearing current problems, so you can avoid them. So the mistake one, replacing the bearing without identifying root cause. If you take a out of failed bearing, fit a new standard bearing and put the motor back into service without protection, the new bearing will fail in same way. That cause has not been addressed. Always inspect the failed bearing for flooding before replace it. Okay, and fit appropriate protection at the same time. Mistake number 2. Fitting a shaft grounding ring on a shaft that is not clean. A grounding ring that cannot make good electrical contact because the shaft is painted, coated or corroded does nothing. The fibers need direct metal to metal contact with a clean smooth shaft surface. Always prepare the shaft surface properly before fitting the ring. Mistake number 3. Only insulating the one bearing and not adding a grounding path. Insulating both bearings without providing a grounding path for the shaft voltage can actually make the problem worse in some condition. The correct strategy is insulated one end to break the circulating loop and ground the other end with a grounding ring to give the shaft voltage path to earth. Mistake 4. Not checking the motor manufacturer's VFD application guidelines. The most major motor manufacturer publish specific recommendation for VFD application, including minimum protection requirements above certain frame size. These are not suggestions, they are engineering requirements based on extensive testing. Check the documentation for your specific motor before deciding on a protection strategy. Mistake number 5, assuming a smaller motor does not need protection. Smaller motors are less at the risk, but they are not immune, especially at high switching frequencies or with long motor cables. If bearing failures are occurring on smaller motor too, check the switching frequency setting on the VFD and reduce it if the applications allow. Lower switching frequency means less common mode voltage and less bearing current. Okay, so my final checklist and conclusion are ready. Let me give you the quick checklist to take away from this video. First, if a motor bearing is falling early on a VFD drive motor, inspect the failed bearing for fluting pattern before assuming it is mechanical or lubrication issue. Second, if fluctuating is confirmed, bearing current is caused, not just replace the bearing. Fix the root cause at the same time. Third, for motor under 30 kW, ensure good grounding and shield cable used. Consider a sharp grounding ring is if issue precise. Okay. Fourth, for motor between 30 kW to 100 kW, fit a sharp grounding ring at the drive end. Consider a insulated bearing at the non-drive end. Fifth, for motor above 100 kW, fit a sharp grounding ring at the drive end and insulated bearing at the non-drive end, and output filter or common mode choke on the drive. Consider an insulated coupling if the driving equipment is involved. 6. Check your motor manufacturer PFD application guide. Okay, they publish specific protection requirement. If this video helped you understand why your motor bearing have seen falling or give you a clear path to preventing it in the future, please like the video. It's help this content reach other engineers or maintenance team or students who have the same problem and have not found the answer yet. So share it with your reliability team. Subscribe for more practical engineering content. See you in next video. Thank you very much.